Hello and happy Wednesday. Today we are welcoming Chris Giakas from Galavant Entertainment onto the Busy Bride podcast. Galavant Entertainment offers both live music and DJing for their weddings, and they're super talented at both. And Chris is actually getting married soon, so he had some really applicable advice to share to all couples getting married soon. So that was awesome. Before we get into the show, if you are a listener of the show and you love listening and you are learning stuff from the show, awesome. I would love if you would give it a 5-star rating and review. It would mean so much to me. It would also really help get the podcast into the hands of couples planning their weddings and who could use the advice. Now, let's hear from Chris. Hello and welcome to the Busy Bride podcast. I'm your host, Gabriella Marie, and I created this podcast to help you research vendors and learn valuable advice as you plan the most special and true to you wedding day of your dreams. Let's get started. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you on.
Oh, no, thank you, Gabrielle, for having me. I appreciate it. Happy to be on. I've done so many weddings with you, so I'm just happy to be here on the podcast. Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, we did 2 weddings together this fall.
Yeah, that was literally nuts. It was funny. My guitarist was like, I think we know that girl from the other wedding we did. I'm like, oh, yeah. That was the first. It's funny, like, we run into people that we haven't, it was great getting to see you again.
Yeah, that's like the fun part of the vendor side of weddings is like running into your vendor friends at different weddings. Sometimes it's a surprise, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
But it was definitely cool to do like back-to-back backyard style weddings with you
It
guys.
definitely is fun. I do like, though, when I'm with Matt and we see like a certain catering truck and we're like, Matt, I think these are the guys. And we're like, oh, that one wedding was a banger. Okay. So then we get all excited and stuff. We love a certain vendor. So, and we loved you. You do amazing work, by the way.
Thank you
Seriously,
so much.
we saw your pictures. It speaks for itself. We love your work.
Thank you. And I love your guys' like music too. You guys are really talented because of the live music you do, the guitar picking, and also the DJing is great. So kudos to you guys.
Very much.
But let's get into the episode because people don't really know who you are. We're just kind of chatting right now. Can you say your business name, what you guys do, and which areas you serve?
Sure. We are Galavant Entertainment. We are a DJ business that also provides live music and entertainment. We're based out of, I always call it the Quad State area. It's like New York, New Jersey, PA, Delaware, because we're there throughout the entire year. We also do weddings up in Maine, Vermont. It really depends on, honestly, wherever your guys' wedding is. We'll be happy to travel wherever you guys have your wedding at.
That's awesome. I love that. And it is a quad state area because, I mean, you could even make it, what is it, Quinn State with Maryland thrown in there too?
Yeah.
There's so many states just like in a small area that we travel to as wedding vendors.
Yeah, no, it is. They're literally like brother and sister states. So I've done a few events, not weddings, but I've done a few events in Maryland as well. So it's a cool little mix down there too of just, weddings and events.
Totally. So give me a little backstory. How'd you start your business? When did you start your business? Like what was the genesis of Galavant Entertainment?
The genesis. So I went to college for criminology. I wanted to be a cop really bad, but I loved doing music. I really did. And then I became a state trooper in Delaware. I was a cop for a while. I enjoyed it for a bit, but I knew I wanted to pursue music. That was my main goal. And it was hard doing gigs while also being an officer. So I left from there, and now I started doing like live shows and stuff. And I started playing like 30 times a month. And I was like, okay, I really want to do a wedding events because I've seen people do weddings, and I'm like, this looks so fun. I've always enjoyed DJing as well. So I'm like, well, I can already do everything that these guys are doing. I could, definitely get into it. So I started Galavant Entertainment. It was actually my fiance Bridget's idea. And she also sings with me. So she sings like a lot of weddings with me and stuff. And it's a cool mix of stuff we do for songs. But yeah, that's kind of how we started out. And we just kept branching out, meeting new couples, meeting new vendors, new venues, and got on vendors lists, and now we're doing quite a few weddings every year.
That's awesome. I had no idea it was Bridget's idea to start the company. Can you talk more about like what the conversation was like? How you guys were just like, let's do this.
Well, at the time when I was getting my feet wet, I was very much, I was working for other wedding companies and stuff. I'd say at least three of them. And Bridget told me, she goes, "Why don't you just start your own company? You can already do everything that these guys are doing." And I'm like, "Yeah, you are right, honey." And I kept thinking about the idea and thinking about the idea. And she goes, "You should just do it." So I started doing my own company. Now I exclusively play for Galavant Entertainment for weddings, and I couldn't be happier. Honestly, getting to work with the couples, it's a really fun part of it.
That's amazing. We love a supportive partner.
Yeah, and she's really cool, and she's wicked smart. She's just I don't know. She's the bee's knees.
Oh, I love that so much, and it's so great that you guys get to perform together too. And I got to hear that at one of the weddings I photographed. You had the three of you, it was you, Bridget, and I believe Matt, the guitarist.
Yeah,
Um,
Maddie.
and I loved your melodies and everything. It was beautiful. So
Oh,
that's awesome.
thank you very much. I'll definitely let her know you said that, or if she's watching the pod, that'd be great too. So, hi, babe,
You're
if she's
awesome,
watching.
Bridget. Okay, so let's talk about what you do at weddings. Like what you offer. Like if somebody's thinking like, okay, Galavant Entertainment sounds cool, but what exactly do they do? Just walk me through it.
Sure. Well, we show up, early. We get the stations all set up. We set up the ceremony. Then we set up the the cocktail hour station. Then we set up the DJ station and also a live performance station in front of the DJ station. So, like, we'll perform a half an hour before the ceremony begins. So your guests can walk into like, relaxing, chill love songs. This will really set the ambiance. And then I also offer officiating for free. I don't charge for it because I'm a licensed officiant. I love doing it. It's fun. So if I'm already there, why not? I'd love being a part of those moments. So I've officiated about, I'd say, 10 or 11 weddings or so. It's just a really fun time. Uh, but it's up to you guys. If you want to spend the extra $400 on an officiant, that's fine by me. Or choose a friend. It's always really cool having a friend to do it. Um, but yeah, so after as soon as we do the ceremony, though, we kind of break it into three songs for the ceremony. Ceremony is kind of broken into, the first song is the one the groom will walk into along with the family and friends. Second will be the bride song as she walks in, and then the third one we kind of time it up like a Disney movie. So as soon as they kiss, we'll go like right into the song, and it is really fun getting to do that. It's a really magical moment. Then we go to cocktail hour, and um, it is always cool having Matt perform alongside with me, just because like he can perform on his own. He's a solo guitarist. He graduated in guitar, which I didn't even know you could even do. I
That's insane.
I know. I went to college with cop. Like he did it mainly just for guitar. I'm like, all right, that's awesome. Um, so like, let's say um, the bride and groom, they have their kiss, and then we go into the song. I'll play the song along with Matt, and then as soon as they start walking off, I can stop playing. Matt will continue to play, and I'll go right to cocktail hour. So before anybody even gets there, I'll already be playing. So you're walking from one area of music to the other. So it's just, there's no dead air, there's no silence, no awkwardness. It's a
Seamless transition.
seamless transition. Then, and an hour of cocktail hour music, and then we start the festivities with the reception. I introduce everybody into the reception, and everybody gets their own like cool intro song. I always love getting to work with that and stuff. Talk to couples about ideas. But yeah, then we'll have dinner. I can perform live during dinner if you'd like, or I can just DJ a playlist during dinner, and then afterwards we would go into the dancing portion, which is probably my favorite part of the night. I love DJing the dancing portion. It's fun.
That's awesome. So it really is like pretty much the whole day when once the guests arrive. Uh, and so they have music the whole entire wedding day because of you guys, which is really cool.
Oh yeah,
And I love the Disney moment for like the first kiss when the couple has their first kiss and you start the music. That's got to be so cool as the couple to just hear like the joyous music in the background of your first kiss as a married couple.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That's always a really really fun time to get to like involve that into like weddings and such. Like I'll show you like one really cool song that couples they it's funny they don't usually know the song before they meet me, but I show them the song and they're like, oh wow, this is a really good song for like our wedding and stuff. So I don't want to give it away, but it's a really fun one. It's called Wildflowers by Tom Petty. Me and Bridget sing this song all the time, and I know it's just a really cool fit for a wedding just because of the words behind it. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. Sail away, kill off the hours. You belong somewhere you feel free. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you. And I love the symbolism behind that song just because, the lyrics, you belong among the wildflowers, you belong somewhere you can be free. That's sort of, I think of it as the people who are at your wedding or at your ceremony, they're kind of wishing that to the couple to walk off, into the sunset together. So it's like, I don't know, I always thought of it that way. So yeah.
Absolutely. I love that song individually, but I never really thought of it as a wedding song. So that's really cool that you're able to pair that to weddings because that's just, it's such a good message, like you said. And it's just such a beautiful, very like acoustically beautiful love song, too.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Tom Petty was an amazing writer, and yeah, and that's why I love meeting with couples. Like I always love doing like a Zoom meeting, or I do like right now about I'd say 20 shows a month around it. I'm doing right now, and what I enjoy getting to do is sometimes they come to my shows and they'll kind of meet with me. I'll get us around of drinks, we'll hang out, and we'll talk and everything, and just going over like the details of the wedding. And they always ask me, "What songs do you prefer for ceremonies or cocktails?" And that's one thing I really enjoy doing, just because I can kind of give them like, "Hey, well, what's your style? You guys into country? Do you guys like classic rock? You want more pop music like Maroon Five or some modern day stuff?" And they really, I think they appreciate that we're as versatile as we can be for weddings. So I don't know. I always love giving them suggestions, and then they kind of go exactly the songs that they want to do. So yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely a great thing to hear as a couple because everybody has different music tastes. So knowing that you can do a bunch of different genres is really nice.
oh, thank you.
Do you have a favorite genre to perform?
Well, it's not. Uh, it's hard to pinpoint. I would always say I'm a giant Beatle fan, big Elvis fan, um, big Fleetwood Mac guy. Bridget's a massive Stevie Nicks fan. So when I first met her on a date, like I walk into her apartment and literally her entire house is just lit up and like it's like a Stevie Nicks shrine. And she's
Oh
like,
my
I know I have a lot of
gosh.
Stevie Nicks stuff. I'm like, trust me, I'm just as weird with Elvis and the Beatles, so don't worry about that. Like, if I could, yeah, my entire office down here is just full of just rock and roll icons and stuff. So I'd say 60s, 70s rock is definitely my forte, but I enjoy doing the most. But we love throwing in country, we love throwing in just different styles and stuff as well.
That's awesome. I love that so much.
Thanks.
Do couples ever ask you to learn specific songs for their wedding?
Yes, and I always encourage that mainly because it tailors their wedding like a suit, specifically to them. So, like, if you want songs by like the Cheetah Girls or like literally anything, like you want opera, you want this or that, we can provide that for you. Um, and it just, I don't know, it makes the people at your wedding, your guests, it makes them think, wow, this is so their wedding. This is so their, just because it personifies them in the wedding. Everything. It makes it their day rather than just playing the same songs you hear at every wedding. So
Absolutely.
yeah, like Bridget wants for our because we're engaged. We're getting our wedding's in October. She wants like the Phantom of the Opera, like straight up stuff. Like she wants like those songs being played. So we're pretty excited about that, making it like ours.
That's gonna be incredible. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I love that. And it's so true. Like I feel like a lot of wedding advice given to couples is make the wedding day true to you. But there's so many different facets of the day that you can tailor to yourself, to you as a relationship, as a couple. And the music is part of that. You know, it's not just like wearing a dress you love or getting the style of pictures you love. It's the music, because that dictates the vibe of the day. And, you know, your guests are hearing the music the whole day too. And music sound is a big part of memory as well. And so listening to songs in the future, you can remember like, oh my gosh, those played at our wedding. And it's just a cool part to tailor to your day.
Yeah, no, it's cool because like then we get to learn new stuff for our material that we can make our stuff even more. So it's crazy the amount of songs that we know now from doing 40 some odd weddings a year. It's just a really good time, and I love hearing a song on the radio or like in passing somewhere at a restaurant, and I'm like, oh, that was Caitlin and Sean's big day. Right on. Okay, good song. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
What's like the coolest song that you learned for a wedding day?
So I was never a Taylor Swift fan until I started this business. Um, this amazing bride that I got to work with. Shout out to you, Olivia. You rock. She got me into that song "Lover" by Taylor Swift, and I've always been a classic rock guy. But I'm like Taylor Swift. I've never really got into her stuff, but like now I love Taylor Swift. I'm a big TS fan, so it's I don't know. I feel like just that song is definitely one of the really good ones that I got to learn from being a part of someone's wedding. So
That's so cool. And it made you a Swiftie.
oh yeah, yeah.
Swifties unite.
But yeah, though no, it's yeah, it's a cool way to kind of go about learning songs and stuff, just because it's connected to a couple. So it's great.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So, can you talk about like the different packages you offer as a live music DJ combo music group?
Sure. So, like I said before, I love tailoring weddings to people's tastes and things that they're really into. So, if a couple wants to have just me perform, like I can do that. Like if you want me to perform the entire day and DJ just me solo, I'd be happy to do that. If you want to add on Matt, I'd be happy to do that as well. It's literally an extra $300 and it goes right to Matt. I try not to. I hate gouging musicians. I don't like doing. It's just not right, because it's his service he's providing. So it'll go right to Matt. Um, so the packages, it could be the duo, it could be the trio. If you want to have our full like Galavant band, that's totally doable as well. So we keep the prices relatively low, just mainly because like I have friends I know, also family members that have done weddings and they've paid like 5 grand for like a wedding band and like all and DJing and stuff. And hey, that's great. That's all power to them. Just that's fine with those companies want to do that. But I don't know. I like charging within my range. I keep it relatively low just because I love doing this. This isn't work for me. This is me getting to go out and perform with my friends and meeting new people. And usually, I try to keep like a nice relationship with the couples too. Like I always, I try to like have like at least 2 or 3 meetings with them. Like, and these are like very long meetings. We get to go in depth about what we like. So
I think it's so awesome that you're so passionate about what you do, because that really comes through. Like when couples are talking to different wedding vendors, it seems to me as if that like there are some wedding vendors who just absolutely love what they do, and the couple can tell when that's the case. So I know when I get married one day, I want vendors who are like obsessed with their job and they want to do the best possible job they can for every single wedding. And I love connecting with couples too. Like that's one of the best parts of the job, is just meeting all these amazing people and getting to know them and make their day even more special. So I know you're the same way there. So that's awesome to hear just how much you love what you do.
yeah, no, it's definitely a passion. Just making sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Just make sure every detail is like exactly where it should be. So love that.
Yes, totally. So, can you describe like the 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 wedding that you serve the most, if that makes sense? Like, are you more of a backyard wedding person? Do you do lots of like ballroom weddings? What does Galva Entertainment serve a lot?
It's funny. We we do like a mixture of just all of it, from the giant ballrooms to like the cool venues, and then there's also the niche, like very artsy wedding venues. Like they're like the Bucks County area ones where it's like really rustic and chill. There's the barn weddings, and there's also the backyard weddings. We've done just a mixture of all of them. I'd say one that really stands out. I don't know. It's like I always enjoy. Like, well, I do like the ballroom weddings. They're fun as well, but I always enjoy the rustic ones because you're inside and outside. That is to say, I do like these when it's nice out. When it's like raining, not the best, because there's times where we've had to do a ceremony in the rain outside, and it got just our stuff kind of got a little wet. Like my Gibson got wet, and I was like extremely nervous about having it just being wet in general. So um, it came to the point where there were guests from the wedding seeing us in the rain. They just put their umbrellas over us because it was a last minute change. Like we were supposed to do it inside, but then the last 10 minutes before we ended up just doing it outside in the rain, and we still had a great time. Like the couple they were the kindest, coolest people. But yeah, we were kind of out in the rain like last minute, and I was like, because I had a tent I could have set up, but it was just, I think it was just a communication thing. But other than that, though, I do enjoy the rustic ones because you're playing outside and you're also playing inside as well, and it's those, you know what I mean? It's those Bucks County weddings, slash like the countryside of like Montgomery County, where they're like, they're really into the music. They want like a mixture of like folk or country or like classic music, like just like Beatles to the Stones. I always like those weddings. Mainly just they have like really cool taste in music.
It
But
seems
yeah,
like you like the weddings where there's a mix of everything, with the inside and outside, the mix of different genres of music. That's so cool.
I'm a
So,
freak. I guess.
yeah.
I guess.
I have a question though. What do you do with rain? Like with your equipment, is there anything that can be in the rain that can't be in the rain? I'm assuming like the speakers can't really be in the rain that much. Like what do you do?
It knocking on wood, it hasn't come to that yet where it's been like our speakers were like had to be in the rain. Like the wedding I told you about like a minute ago, we were just playing unplugged because it was like very last minute. The bride just wanted to have it outside anyway, so we're like, I told her we can't bear our speakers out. She goes, just play, just you guys play. I'm like, okay. So it was just us playing the open air, which still went really well. We had a great time, but yeah, so far so good actually. Not having our stuff in the rain, but if it does come to it, we have like tents and stuff we can set up for it. There have been some times where like it'll drizzle a little bit, and like that kind of scares me a little bit when it comes to the wireless microphone for the officiant. So we'll always try to have like at least a plastic cover over it if it's like really 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 damp. But if it's just a little drizzle, that's fine. I'll have it out in the rain. My microphone, that's fine.
Okay, that's
But
good to
yeah,
know.
but knocking on wood, hopefully it doesn't have to come to that.
Yes, definitely. But it's good to know that there's a backup plan with the tents just in case.
Yeah.
So, do you get like a frequently asked question from couples inquiring about their weddings?
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's like a main five or few questions that are asked, which make total sense because like if I wasn't in this business, I'd be asking the same questions. Like, what should we walk down to on the aisle? Should it be upbeat? Should it be chill? Should it be um, sad? Like, there's different kinds of style of that, and I always just ask, what are you guys into? What's your style? Because I can give you guys a bunch of songs that I do for ceremonies, but it always comes down to I always believe that it's what the couple would want to have for their day. So it's a question like that. I always just say it's a matter of your choice, but I'll always give you guys my opinion if you'd like. There's also um, like what time do you play the song? Like is it like the third song during the ceremony? Is it when we kiss or is it afterwards? And I always have to ask the officiant because there's times when like you may now kiss the bride and then they'll kiss, and then the officiant steps forward and says, "For the first time ever, I'd like to now introduce Mister." And so it kind of goes into me also asking that question to couples is mainly, what is the officiant going to say? Those are his last words before you guys kiss because I don't want you guys to kiss, then we start playing, and then the guy starts speaking over us, and it's just going to be a whole mix of sounds. So That's one thing I guess that gets asked. Uh, I guess another question would be like, what's our first dance song? Like, what would be a good first dance song for us? And I guess I give them the same answer, you know, like that, whatever your choice is. And another one is, when do I get there? I try to show up at least 3 hours early, just because it's just so much stuff to set up. Um, and I always like meeting with people and saying hi, and you know, yeah, those are about the questions I think I
So it sounds
usually get.
like you kind of help the couples, like you guide the couples towards their decisions for what songs to be played, what kind of music to be played if they're unsure.
Yes, mainly that.
That's awesome. So I kind of want to go back to you saying you have like all these different options for couples with, just you solo, just you and Matt, the trio of you, Matt and Bridget. You can also do a four-piece band, possibly even five-piece band. What which kind of couples should be looking at more of like, you know, just you or maybe just you and Matt? And then what kind of couples should consider having more of like the three, four, five-piece band at their wedding?
Well, I always think of it as probably the couple. So the couple that wants the band rather than us DJing is probably the couple that wants to, they really want to have like that live music experience. They're really, they're really into music. Because whenever like our band has been asked to perform rather than me DJing, because I will DJ during the breaks of the band, but mainly, I think it's people that are just very music oriented. It's usually people that have musicians in their family that will want to have like the band play and perform, rather than us DJing. So yeah, it's usually like people that are just like massive music lovers that are about that, and I don't know, they really want to hear like our sound, and usually like they'll follow us at like our shows or like my shows, and they'll want to hear like the band. Um, as for like people that, that want a DJ to be played, it's I guess people that just kind of want. Of course, they appreciate music, but I guess not like people who want the band. That is to
That
say, they
makes
don't.
sense.
I'm not saying they don't appreciate music. It's just they just appreciate the live music aspect, kind
Right.
of.
So it's nice to have like live music throughout portions of the day, but when it comes to the reception, you're picturing like a DJ vibe to the day versus like live music all day the whole time.
Yeah, which is definitely fun. I will say it is definitely a good time. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, sweet. That makes a lot of sense. So wrapping up the podcast, I have a big question, two pronged for you. What is your biggest piece of wedding advice for couples getting married, both professionally, so as a musician, and then also personally, since you are planning your wedding right now?
All right, well, so I'll give the first one as a musician. So from the musician slash DJ's standpoint, I would always just say, number one, really pick out the music that you guys want to have. Make sure it's like special to you guys. Make sure it really personifies your guys' wedding day. Another one would be try getting your pictures done before before the entire ceremony. Mainly just so you can enjoy the cocktail hour, because that's one of the best times. You get to hear the band play. You get to hear us like rock and roll. You get to have like the coolest food. You get to say hi to everybody. Because then when it comes time for reception, when you guys are introduced into the reception, it would be hard because you're going to be saying hi to everyone in your family before you even get to the dance floor or really get to, you know. So that's definitely one thing I always will say as like the DJ, if you can, if you can't, understand, but try to get your pictures done beforehand so you could really enjoy cocktail and say hi to everybody there, and then get to enjoy the reception, like really get into it. Um, as a fellow weddinger, that's a word, a person that's
Weddinger.
who's also getting married.
I love
I would
it.
say take as many mental photographs as possible, as many as you can, because you're going to be saying hi to everyone, and it really. I'm not saying it takes up a lot of time because you're of course greeting your guests, but you also have to enjoy your time too as well. So make sure you really take as many mental photographs as possible. Um, yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, those are two really great pieces of advice. When it comes to getting pictures done before the ceremony, it definitely benefits. Um, benefits you the rest of the day because, like you said, you can hang out with everybody at cocktail hour, say hello. You can enjoy the music that you hired for cocktail hour, the food that you had planned for cocktail hour. And so, if a first look is on the table, definitely worth considering it just so that you can fully be present the rest of the day. But I always tell my couples if they're like dead set on wanting to wait until the aisle to see each other, totally cool. Just know that pictures will cut into cocktail hour time. And as a photographer myself, I try and be as quick and efficient as possible, like getting you through them so you can still enjoy some cocktail hour, but also like making sure you get some really good quality pictures. But if that's the case, you're waiting until the aisle to see each other. I think a 90-minute cocktail hour is a great idea because then we get pictures done, but then you still have time to mingle and enjoy the music and enjoy the food before the reception starts. So you can
Oh
party
yeah,
it up. So
the 90-minute ones are rocking too. I like those.
I love them.
Yeah, I think another cool tip I would do is, so as the officiant giving um, advice, uh, I would always say if you can do the first look before the ceremony happens, mainly because you're gonna cry your because I'm gonna cry my eyes out already thinking about seeing Bridget walk down the aisle. So I think that's kind of how we're doing is the aisle, but the first look, I feel like you'll be crying. You'll kind of get the crying out of the way because whenever I'm officiating, and whenever I see like the groomsmen cry or like the bridesmaid, I start crying like when I'm up there because if I don't know if I hear a really good vow or like a really good moment, I'll begin to cry. Like I just did a wedding up in Vermont where I heard one of the most beautiful uh, like vows ever, and she was crying, he was crying, the whole audience was crying. I'm crying too. I'm like, this is so. And it was also a first that was also their first look too. So I was already cheering from the beginning. I'm like, wow, this is really good.
Isn't it
So
amazing how, like, as vendors, we can cry listening to people's vows who we barely know?
yeah, no, it's funny because then afterwards, I don't know, hearing those words, you know them a little more, just because of like that vulnerability in that moment, and you get to be a part of it with them. But yeah, it's really something special. That's something that I really love about our work. We get to be a part of these moments and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I cry at like 90% of weddings I photograph.
I caught you crying.
You did? Oh my
I
gosh.
caught
See?
you.
I did. I do. It's real. When was I crying at this wedding?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember where when it was. I think it was during I think it was the vows. I saw tears. I saw tears coming from me. I think it was the vows,
Yep.
and and I was like, "These are some good vows, Maddie." And he goes, "These are some good vows."
Yes, I would say the biggest points of crying are first looks, any sort of first look. So like first look with the couple, or first look with the dad, with grandparents, or anybody like that. Uh, the vows for sure, and then first dance, but especially parent dances. Those get me.
Oh yeah. Well, what gets me really bad. I don't want to hold you up, but is when there's a ceremony and like the front aisle is like the grandparents and people that couldn't be there. They leave an empty seat for them and they put the photograph in a frame. That's when I start crying and I get and I'll be reading like my officiant thing and I'm like, oh, I love that. I want to have that at my wedding so bad because I would love my nanny and poppy to be there for that day, and having a picture of them there would just means the world to me, like an open seat. So yeah, that's something I'm definitely going to add in. Happy we talked about this
Definitely.
because I'll bring this up to Bridget later on. So yeah,
Amazing. Yes. I love when couples honor family members and past loved ones who can't be there because it is such a big day and you wish people can be there who might not be able to be there. So there's so many different ways you can honor those family members and just have them there as part of your day. So I like that empty seat with the picture frame. That's really cool because you can
yeah,
look over and see them there. That's
yeah.
awesome.
It's definitely something special. I'm already kind of tearing up now thinking about it. So thanks a lot, Gabriella.
It's okay, just us wedding vendors crying about love.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. You had some awesome pieces of advice, and it was great catching up with you and having you on.
no, thank you so much for having me, and let's do this again sometime. And I would love for like the four of us to catch dinner someday. That'd be so cool. Literally would Love for us all to have dinner together one day.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so amazing. I would love that too.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, I'll see you later.
All right. See you.
That was awesome! I love how passionate Chris is about music and weddings in general. It really does make such a big difference knowing that your wedding vendor truly loves what they do. And the surprise that Chris is also an officiant? What the heck? That's so cool! If you loved this episode, if you found any of the advice helpful, please share this episode to your Instagram story. You can tag me at Gabriella Marie Audi. You can also tag Galavant Entertainment on Instagram. And also, please give this podcast a 5-star rating and review if you found anything here helpful. It would mean the world to me and would really help get this podcast to the hands of busy brides who could use the advice. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Now go hug your person. I'll see you next Wednesday.